want to thank Brian because during the week he took some time off to come in to church, and all the slides that are going to be shown tonight are his efforts and my prayers. Those of you who know me know I'm technologically disadvantaged. I am very appreciative and very humbled at this opportunity to talk to you and share some of my thoughts on Christmas Eve. The Spirit led me to the Gospel of John. Initially, I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about. And it's a very familiar passage, and let's look at that passage right now. In the beginning, the Word already existed, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He existed in the beginning with God. God created everything through him, and nothing was created except through him. The Word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. I asked myself, why I was drawn to this passage. And then God brought the homeless shelter to our church. And I met some very special people at the homeless shelter. And then I knew exactly why God led me to this passage. And that experience made this passage come alive to me. As a child, I attended parochial schools my whole life. And my teachers were nuns of the Immaculate Heart of Mary Order. And over the years, I learned an awful lot from them about the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And every assignment I ever turned in elementary school, that would be K through 8, I wrote 3 letters at the top of every page. J, M, J. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. But one thing the nuns never, ever mentioned to me was the fact that the Holy Family was homeless. That when Mary and Joseph went to Bethlehem and they started knocking on doors looking for a place to stay, they got this kind of a response. We don't have any room. No, you can't stay here. But my wife is pregnant. No, sorry. Can somebody please help me? My wife is expecting. I have no room in my house, but I do have a stable out back. You can use that. A few weeks ago, I met a couple with 2 beautiful little girls. This church was their house. In the toddler room was their bed. And I need to tell you their story. This young couple and I shared dinner on a Saturday night, right in the back of our church here. And I asked them how they met. And they told me that they met on the bus. They both grew up here in Mount Pleasant, and they met on the school bus. And after high school, they decided to spend the rest of their lives together. And they had 2 beautiful little girls. They were living in Mason, Michigan. And the dad was a chef. And boy, was he artistic. Thank God for cell phones, It's just, he showed me some things he had done on the cell phone. You women wish. Okay, your husband, okay. He carved, okay, his wife's picture in a pumpkin. It looked like her. I was like blown away. I mean, I thought, holy cow. And I saw some of the other things he did. He was really gifted. And then one day at work, he had a seizure. And their whole life changed. And he went from specialist to specialist. He saw some at Michigan State University, and they all said the same thing. You can't drive a car. You can't work. They lost their home in Mason. And they moved back to Mount Pleasant. So I got a job at Sam's Club. And they moved in with his brother. His brother had to evict them from his house. Because unless they were homeless, they would not qualify for any aid. And that's how they and their two little girls ended up at the First Church of Christ. So I asked the wife, well, how did this week go? The week they spent with us here. And she said, my girls love it so much, they wish this was their home. And I said, I wish it was your home too. And on Sunday morning, the homeless shelter had left. Their next stop was the Church of the Nazarene. And my dear friend Rebecca Hamilton came up to tell me that as that family left, those two little girls were crying. The Apostle John wrote, Ryan, you with me, brother? Thank you. I am you skipped one. The Apostle John wrote, it's part of the leave that first one back up there, my friend. My bad. Okay. The last verse. The Apostle John wrote, the Word gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. Now, Jesus said, I am the light of the world. If you follow me, you won't have to walk in darkness, because you will have the light that leads to life. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus tells you and me, you are the light of the world. A city on a hilltop cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your good deeds shine out for all to see, so that everyone will praise your Heavenly Father. My brothers and sisters in Christ, the light of the First Church of Christ never, ever shines brighter than at the homeless shelter. The next slide, Ryan, please. Thank you. This was on Facebook, and I want to share this with you. If you haven't seen it before, this is what the First Church of Christ is all about, and why this is my church family. This was written by the director, Ryan Griffiths, of the Isabella County Restoration House. An absolutely unbelievable week for ICRH guests at the First Church of Christ. Volunteers were incredible. No matter how cold the weather, the atmosphere at First Church was warm as it gets. Thank you to all who helped to make the week great. A guest said on Wednesday night, I've been to shelters and I've worked with agencies in the past, but I've never actually felt love like I feel here. Mission accomplished. I was going to ask everyone who served at the homeless shelter to stand up, but no one who served there served to receive any kind of recognition. In that same Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said this, "But when you give to someone in need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees everything will reward you." Lest there is any misconception, okay, you need to know this. I did not prepare or serve a meal. I ate a lot of meals. I didn't wash a dish. I didn't vacuum the floor. I didn't clean a bathroom. I didn't remove any soiled sheets. I didn't stay up all night. I didn't deal with any contentious people. I think all of us remember the story of Martha and Mary and how Jesus went and visited and stayed at their house. And Martha was really busy in the kitchen, working, preparing things. And Mary was sitting, just kind of chilling with Jesus, listening to him. Okay, I want all of you just to pretend, okay, I'm Mary. Speaking of Jesus, let's not forget that Jesus was homeless. Soon after the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew records a man saying this to Jesus. Ryan, you're the best. "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go." But Jesus replied, "Foxes have dens to live in, and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." Jesus also said, "No one has ever seen God. Yet, if we love one another, God remains in us, and his love is brought to perfection in us." What do you see when you look in the eyes of a homeless woman pushing a cart down the street? Or a teenage girl with multicolored hair, tattoos and piercings passing you on the street? Do you see someone to pity, to tolerate, to despise? Or do you see the face of Christ? I met that girl at the homeless shelter. She told me the story of her life, how she moved as a child from foster home to foster home to foster home, and then a family adopted her. And when she was 17, they put her out. And I said to her, "Why did they adopt you if they didn't want to keep you?" And she said, "For the money." And then she said to me, "I love it here at the homeless shelter." I never thought I'd hear someone say, "I love it at the homeless shelter." This girl's probably 17, probably 18 years old. She said, "I love it here at the homeless shelter." And I said, "Well, why?" And she said, I've not smiled or laughed this much in the last couple of years." Mother Teresa said, "Whenever I meet someone in need, it is really Jesus in his most distressing disguise." Jesus said, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your home. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Then these righteous ones will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you? Or thirsty and give you something to drink? Or a stranger and show you hospitality? Or naked and gave you clothing? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you? And the king will say, I tell you the truth. When you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did it to me. Our challenge this Christmas is to learn to see Jesus, not only in the face of an innocent baby, but in the eyes of the difficult people we meet every day, and also in these uncomfortable situations that God seems to put us in every day of our lives. What I'd like us to do right now is sing one of my favorite songs, which I think is very appropriate. Ryan's going to lead us in this song, and I need everyone to stand up and sing this song with every little fiber of your body.
John, you can't go too far. You got to sing with me.
Hey, brother. This song I was singing. I will sing something else.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I don't know what's I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let's sing it one more time. This little light of mine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You're supposed to hang out.
I like that Ryan chose the verse, let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm going to let it shine. That's our goal. That's why we're here, okay? To let our light shine. But this time in the service, okay, we are going to see lived out. Okay? the truth of the last verse, verse 5 in the Gospel of John, first chapter. When John wrote this, Jesus gave life to everything that was created, and his life brought light to everyone. His life, Jesus' life, brought life. Okay? We all know that tonight we celebrate a very special day. When that light, the light of God, humbled himself, become an infant, born to a homeless family, who spent 3 years of his adult life as a homeless man, wandering Israel, spreading the good news of the gospel that we so often take for granted. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. The light of Christ will never be extinguished. Never. It lives in us. And look out here right now. It's just so heartwarming for me to see some of my dear friends sitting right next to their children. And that light now lives in their children. And some of them are here with their grandchildren, and that light's spreading to their grandchildren. The light of Christ will never, ever be extinguished. So at this time, we are going to turn out the lights. Okay, and there'll be one light. And that one light to the left of me symbolizes that light of Christ. And that light is going to spread and grow brighter and brighter and brighter as it moves through each and every one of us sitting here in this church. My brothers and sisters, it's not about us sitting here in this church. It's about us taking that light and walking out that door and sharing that light with someone who so desperately needs to know that we love them because Jesus Christ loves them.